The sun rose slowly over the narrow street. Inside a small apartment, Elena Brooks moved quietly, careful not to wake her daughter too soon. The morning air smelled faintly of instant coffee and hope. Today was important. Today might change everything. She checked her phone again. The message from Carter Industries glowed faintly. Interview at 9 sharp. She whispered the time under her breath, as if repeating it could make her more prepared. Her daughter, Mia, sat sleepily at the small kitchen table, rubbing her eyes. Elena smiled and brushed her hair gently. "You'll come with me today, honey. I don't have anyone to watch you." Mia nodded, clutching her small pink backpack. Inside were crayons, a snack, and her favorite bear. Elena dressed carefully. Her blouse was old but clean, and her black skirt had been pressed the night before. She looked at herself in the cracked mirror. The woman staring back seemed nervous but brave. Outside, the city was waking up. Cars rumbled and people hurried past. Elena held Mia's hand as they waited for the bus. She could feel her daughter's fingers gripping tightly. The ride was long and quiet. Elena watched buildings blur past, her mind full of thoughts: rent, bills, food, and this one chance to start over. When they reached the tall glass building, she hesitated. The reflection in the doors made her feel small, but she took a deep breath and entered. The lobby was wide and cold, filled with polished floors and the soft sound of heels clicking. Mia looked around, amazed. "It's so shiny," she whispered. Elena smiled, hiding her fear. "Yes, it is. Let's be on our best behavior, okay?" Her heart pounded as they stepped toward the reception desk. The receptionist's expression shifted when she noticed the child. Elena's hands trembled slightly as she signed in. She hoped it would be fine. She hoped someone would understand. Asterisk minutes passed slowly in the waiting area. Elena sat on the edge of a chair, keeping Mia close. The other applicants looked sharp and confident. She felt every wrinkle in her skirt and every tired line on her face. Mia sat quietly, drawing on a piece of paper. The crayon squeaked softly against the surface. A few people smiled politely, but most avoided looking at them. Soon, a woman in a navy suit appeared. Her badge read Miss Clark, HR. She stopped in front of Elena, her eyes flicking to the child. "Mrs. Brooks?" she asked curtly. "Yes, ma'am," Elena said, standing. Miss Clark sighed. "I'm afraid we can't proceed with your interview today. Bringing a child isn't professional. We expect candidates to come alone." The words hit like cold rain. Elena froze. "Please, I didn't have anyone to leave her with." She said quietly, "I promise." "I'm sorry," Miss Clark interrupted, shaking her head. "We can't make exceptions." Mia's small hand tightened around Elena's fingers. Her eyes filled with confusion. "Did I do something wrong, Mama?" she whispered. Elena knelt beside her daughter, her throat tight. "No, sweetheart." "You didn't." She stood again, trying to stay composed. "Thank you for your time," she said softly. As she turned to leave, Elena felt eyes on her. The sound of laughter from somewhere down the hall stung. She walked toward the exit, trying not to cry. The polished floor reflected her fading steps, the weight of disappointment heavy in her chest. She pushed open the glass doors and stepped into the cold morning air. The city's noise swallowed her. She wanted to scream, but she couldn't. She had a child to protect. Mia looked up and offered her drawing. "It's a flower for you, Mama, so you can smile again." Elena took it, her voice trembling. "Thank you, my love." They sat on a nearby bench, unsure what to do next. The dream she had carried for months now felt like smoke. But somewhere inside, a quiet voice whispered that this wasn't the end. Asterisk, the sound of an engine hummed nearby. A black car stopped in front of the building. From it stepped Liam Carter, CEO of Carter Industries. His morning was planned to the minute, but his attention shifted when he saw a young woman sitting on the bench holding a child. Something about her stillness caught him. She wasn't begging or complaining. She was just quiet. He watched her for a moment before walking closer. "Excuse me," he said gently. Elena looked up, startled. "Oh, I'm sorry. We're just leaving." "No, please," Liam said. "Are you all right?" She hesitated, unsure if she should speak. "I came for an interview, but they wouldn't let me in. I brought my daughter. It was my fault." Liam's brow furrowed slightly. "You applied for a position here?" "Yes, I was hoping for an assistant role." He glanced at the child, who was holding a drawing of a flower. "That's beautiful," he said softly. Mia smiled shyly. "It's for Mama." Liam's expression warmed. He looked back at Elena. "Would you mind waiting here a moment?" Before she could answer, he walked inside. The staff greeted him with sudden nervous energy. Whispers filled the air. "Mr. Carter's here," someone said. In his office, he asked for the applicant list. When he saw Elena Brooks' name, he nodded slowly. "Get her file," he ordered. Back outside, Elena was preparing to leave when a guard approached. "Ma'am, Mr. Carter would like to see you." Her heart skipped. She followed the guard back inside, Mia holding her hand. The same receptionist looked shocked. Ms. Clark turned pale as she saw who waited in the meeting room, Liam Carter himself. Elena sat nervously, her hands clasped on her lap. Liam smiled gently, trying to ease her tension. "I heard what happened," he said. "You brought your daughter because you had no one else to watch her, correct?" "Yes," she said softly. "I understand it wasn't professional, but I couldn't miss this chance." He nodded. "I admire that. Responsibility doesn't end at the office door." She looked surprised. "You're not upset?" "Not at all," he said. "Tell me, Elena, what made you apply here?" Her eyes softened. "I used to work in administration before my husband passed away. After that, I couldn't find anything stable. I just want to build something better for her." Liam listened carefully. "What would you do if given the chance?" "I'd give everything I have," she said, her voice steady. He leaned back thoughtful. The child's soft humming filled the silence. Mia was drawing again, her tiny feet swinging. "You remind me of my mother," he said quietly. "She raised me alone too." Elena blinked. "She must be proud of you." "She would be," he said with a faint smile. "You have strength, Elena. That's what this company needs." He stood and extended his hand. "Welcome to Carter Industries." Elena froze, unable to speak. "You're offering me the job?" "Yes." "Part-time at first, with flexible hours so you can care for your daughter." Tears welled in her eyes. "Thank you." "You have no idea what this means." Liam smiled warmly. "I think I do." Days turned into weeks. Elena grew into her new role with quiet determination. She arrived early, completed every task, and soon earned everyone's respect. Mia became a familiar face in the office. She stayed in the small reading corner Liam had arranged, always cheerful and polite. Sometimes, employees brought her crayons or little gifts. The air felt lighter around them. Liam often stopped by to check on them. "How's the little artist today?" he'd ask. Mia would grin and show him her latest drawing. "This one's for you, Mr. Carter," he laughed softly. "I'll hang it in my office." Elena watched those moments with quiet gratitude. She didn't see him as a CEO anymore. She saw the man who had looked beyond judgment, who had seen her heart before her resume. One afternoon, as she packed her things, Liam approached her desk. "You've done great work, Elena," the board noticed. She looked up surprised. "Really?" "Yes," he said. "I'd like to offer you a permanent position." Her breath caught. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he smiled. "You've earned it." She nodded slowly, then yes. That evening, as they left the office, the sky glowed gold. Mia held her mother's hand tightly, skipping along the path. "Are you happy, Mama?" she asked. Elena looked down at her daughter, then at the tall building behind them. "Yes, sweetheart, I think we finally found our place." The wind brushed through her hair. The world didn't feel so heavy anymore. Somewhere deep inside, she knew this was only the beginning.